What's up, YouTube? This is Tech. Yesterday's video I put up was extremely quiet, a little bit sloppy, so I'm going to try to do a better job. This time, maybe speak a little bit louder. I'm also sitting closer to the camera, so we'll see how this works out. My video today I'm going to be doing is about Seattle Seahawks playing Washington Redskins. It's going to be at the Redskins. First thing I want to point out is that both these teams are extremely similar on offense. Everything about their teams, rookie quarterbacks, running game, the read option, receivers, everything about it, they're very, very similar. The Redskins right now, RG3 and Russell Wilson, both are the first two quarterbacks ever to have over 100 quarterback rating during their rookie campaigns, which is phenomenal. So hats off to both those guys. I think Griffin is the better quarterback here, and not just because he has a slightly higher quarterback rating at 102 compared to Russell Wilson's 100 even. But I think RG3 gets the nod just because he's more dynamic, I think. He sells the play action a little bit better. He freezes defenders with that play action. And he's also a little bit more mobile, I think. Not that Russell Wilson isn't mobile, because he is. But overall, I think RG3 is slightly more accurate. I feel like RG3 brings a little bit more to the table, and it might just be because I'm a little bit biased because I really do like Griffin as a player. But Wilson, hats off to the guy. He's also done a phenomenal job in Seattle. They've both really lifted these teams. But other than the quarterbacks, Marshawn Lynch, he's obviously a stud. Finished the season with almost 1,600 yards, and everybody knows how good he is. His last 4 games, he's put up 5 touchdowns, and he's averaged over 100 yards in all of those games. In fact, in almost every one of his games, he got 100 yards. But what I really want to talk about is Alfred Morris and how good he is. He's so under the radar, too. And it's ridiculous to me because he is every bit as productive, at least this season, as Marshawn Lynch has been. And I'm not saying he's better than Beast Mode is right now, but he's close enough for me. I mean, the guy has 13 touchdowns on the season, which that itself is pretty good. But on top of that, he has over 1,600 yards. The guy's averaging more than 100 yards a game, and he's just a bulldozer. He just runs people over, and I love it. If Robert Griffin III wasn't playing there, he would be the talk of the town right now. And outside of also Morris is averaging 4.8 a carry, whereas Lynch is averaging 5 a carry. So very, very similar in their production levels. So I don't know why everybody thinks that they have this huge advantage because of Lynch, because Washington has just as good of a runner in Morris, and not to mention that Redskins boast the #1 rush offense in the entire league, averaging 160 a game. And I pointed that out in one of my previous videos. But Washington also, I feel like they share the rock better than Seattle does. Like, Seattle has a couple really good receivers. Well, I wouldn't say really good. They have some good receivers. Sidney Rice is legit, and Golden Tate, he's pretty clutch. He makes plays when it matters. But like Washington's receiving core, they spread the ball out so well. Like if you look up the stats for those guys. Every single one of them, they have 4 receivers within 10 catches of each other, and like there's no one guy who really excels more than them. I think the one thing offensively that the Redskins do better though is they have so much more speed at the receiver position. I feel like not necessarily one person, not that Seattle doesn't have speed in the receivers, but I feel like overall the amount of speed just the Redskins have on that team, it's going to create some mismatch problems. It almost feels like I'm watching a college offense play when I watch the Redskins play, and it's interesting to me. Also, it's interesting to know offensively, the Redskins are better in every major statistic than the Seahawks are, and that includes passing yards per game, total yards per game, rushing yards per game, and points per game. So offensively, I have to give Washington the nod. However, defensively, Seattle boasts the #1, what I consider the #1 defense in the NFL, because the only real statistic that matters as far as defensively is points allowed per game, and they're only allowing 15 per game over the season, which is really good. It's really, really good. But I don't know, I feel like Washington has a lot better of a defense than people give them credit for. They make the big plays when it matters. Like, if you look at the 2010 Packers, and I pointed this out before as well in previous videos, the Packers made plays when it mattered. Yeah, they allowed a lot of yards, but they always got the pick or forced the fumble in key moments, so clutch. And I feel like the Washington defense is very similar to that. And also, since they started their winning streak, I feel like Washington's defense has really buckled down, and they've been playing better. You can tell they're tackling more. London Fletcher, what a monster. And Seattle's defense, obviously Earl Thomas is a stud, and they're very, very well rounded. But they get pretty good pass rush. They have excellent coverage between Brandon Browner and the rest of that company. Excellent coverage, and the linebackers are decent. That whole defense is very well rounded. So defensively, I think Seattle has the edge. Also on special teams, both teams have really good kickers, but the one thing that has really lifted Seattle that most people don't really look at is how good they are at kick returns. They're averaging 27 yards per kick return, which is really, really good. It's second in the league. And so I feel, as far as that goes, that gives Seattle a huge advantage. Just being able to start with much better field position is a huge help. However, one thing that the Redskins do really well as well is they excel at time of possession. My God, they run the crap out of the clock, and it helps a lot in games. You can tell they just drag drives on those long drives, just a run here, run there, and they're so effective at doing it, at running the football, that it really opens people up in the passing game because Robert Griffin is so mobile, and Alfred Morris is such a good runner that it really opens up the passing game. And you could say the same about Seattle, but as I pointed out before, Washington's better offensively, statistically at least. I feel like if the Redskins run the clock on them, like they do most teams, that they have a really good shot at this. Also, as far as turnover differential goes, Redskins are a little bit better at plus 17 compared to the plus 13 Seahawks. Both teams are pretty good at turnovers. Marshawn Lynch doesn't typically fumble, neither does Alfred Morris, and RG3 and Wilson, neither of them typically throw interceptions. So as far as that goes, I'd say they're pretty even. The biggest thing about this game, though, what's really going to decide this game is the fact that the game's on the road, and Seattle sucks ass on the road. Yeah, they're great at home. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 8-0, technically 7-1 at home, but they're 8-0 at home, and they're 3-5 on the road. And these are the three teams that the Seahawks have beat on the road. They beat the Bills, Panthers, and the Bears. The Bears are terrible. They've 10-6 because they had a really soft schedule this year. They didn't beat a single team this year with a winning record, if I remember correctly. And I called it from the beginning of the year that the Bears were so overrated. I couldn't believe they were doing as good as they were for a while. And so Seattle beating them on the road wasn't a surprise to me. And you beat up the Panthers and the Bills. I mean, I don't know, nothing to write home to mom about, that's for sure. And on the road, however, they've also lost to the Cardinals, Lions, Dolphins, and Rams. So all those teams are really bad. Every single one of them. Dolphins are probably the best out of those. Maybe the Rams. None of those teams even hit 8 wins. So I believe at least. Maybe the Rams did. But either way, all bad teams, and they lost to them all on the road. And the only playoff team they've played on the road this year is the 49ers, and they got the shit kicked out of them. Russell Wilson made mistakes left and right. He only completed 9 passes. Marshawn Lynch looked pretty good, but they were only able to put up a meager 6 points. I'm not saying the Redskins' defense is as good as the 49ers, because clearly that's not true. But I don't know. And overall, I just see Redskins taking control of this game. I don't know why everyone thinks Seattle is the team to beat right now, or why they're such a favorite in this game. Every article I read, anything about it, it's Seattle this, Seattle that. They've been so good lately. They've put up all these points. Yeah, they've been great lately, but they've played really bad teams on the road lately, and at home they're obviously good. I just don't see Seattle winning the game. On top of that, I don't think Seattle deserves to be playing this game. And the story is that they lost that Week 3 game against Green Bay, and the Packers were completely robbed of that game, and it's total horseshit that, I don't know, it pisses me off too. I'm not taking away anything from Wilson, but for him to tie Peyton Manning's touchdown record for a rookie, and him to actually technically have only thrown 25 touchdowns and not 26 pisses me off. Also, him having a 100 quarterback rating, technically he should have like a 99.1 because of that interception, or whatever you want to call it. He'd be just under 100. So it's all bullshit to me. And like, on top of that, their whole team, besides Wilson, I'll give credit to Wilson. He's a short quarterback. It's a great story. and he's a good guy. I won't rip on Russell Wilson because it's not his fault. But everyone else in that locker room, bunch of fucking douchebags. Every one of them. Pete Carroll, their head coach, what an ass clown to like when that one touchdown happened, for him to like the next day make a press conference saying how it's so cool that they called the play that way. If it was the other way around, he'd be having a cow. And I like class in a locker room, and that's just something they don't have. They're a dirty football team, and I don't like it like at all. I I live in Oregon, and when Seattle went to the playoffs, I rooted for them. Like I have every time because I'm not even a Seahawks fan, but they're local, and so I usually root for them. But I don't like dirty football teams. I don't like the Lions. Their line is so dirty, just the way they play. And I mean, Brandon Brown is coming back from suspension, and he was suspended for a reason. And I don't know, Chancellor. Oh my God, Cam Chancellor's so dirty too. He's just a little bitch. And Golden Tate, what a fucking queer. God, I hate that guy. Sorry, I'm not meaning to rip on gay people, but that guy is a fucking asshole. Like, when even his mom knows that he didn't catch that ball. I don't like the lack of class and the dirty players, and I'm ranting about it now. But anyway, bottom line is I think Redskins take it to them this week. I truly do think that Redskins have the advantage, and this is Tech signing out. All my Redskins fans, you can thank me for picking you again. You're getting the W this week. I have faith. Peace.